Thank you, Rajat, for joining us today on Let's Talk Business series by RealtyNXT.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kritika, for having me over here. It's been a pleasure. And on behalf of Puravankara Group, I think we're very delighted to be on your show.
Thank you. So let's start about you first. I'm sure our audience would be interested to know what inspired you to transition from a successful career in multinational banking to real estate sector.
So it's been an exciting journey, to say the least, I think. So I started, as you rightly said, with a couple of MNC banks. I was at Citibank and then joined Deutsche Bank. Having was a great experience over there. As luck may have it, I got an opportunity to join the finance team of Lodha Group, and that's where my entry into real estate happened. I think so absolutely a fantastic time with Lodha Group, learning the nuances of real estate, from finance to sales, and spending a lot of time over there. And here I am in front of you now working with Puravankara Group. So I currently manage the West region and the commercial business for the group.
Right. But as you must be knowing, because you're from the banking sector, during those times, there were proper structures there in every sector except real estate, right? So what was the initial challenge that you faced, and what was the valuable lesson that you have learned so far when you entered real estate sector?
So as you rightly said, you're bang on. I think there was no formalized structure, especially when you're coming from a MNC bank where everything is organized and to the T, and you come into a sector which is kind of setting up disorganized to a large extent. What motivated me at that point of time was the entrepreneurial journey, the mindset that we had at that point of time, and I was lucky to have bosses like who would give me the liberty to do a lot of things on their own and create a lot of things on their own. And I think that is which kept me exciting all through this journey. Number one. Number two, what also was the potential of doing something big, right? Where I think the Indian real estate market was just coming at a boom of cusp of something large. People were seeing all these large developments coming in. And I think that is what kept me exciting, because I'd never seen this kind of scale of operations working in the banking side of things. And I was totally enamored by the fact that this is what you can actually create in real estate. I mean, we've been talking about cities global, but in India, there was so much happening. So I think today I can have a look back. I am really, really happy that I joined real estate.
And as someone with such an extensive finance, experience, with your financial expertise, how are you using it for your advantage by helping Puravankara brand?
No, obviously, I mean, this learning of finance has been helping me on a day-to-day level. Of course, there's a learning process every single day. I mean, finance is also evolving. A lot of global funds, a lot of global opportunities are coming our way. But in Puravankara, I think what is happening is that as a company, the way the size of operations are, there is lots and lots that we can do what's happening at a global level. So, for example, if I have to, look at a financial closure of one of our projects, I mean, there's so much that we can bring on the table to ensure that the project is much more viable than it was otherwise. So this finance knowledge, every single day, every single time we're acquiring a land, we're going for a construction, going for our valuations, I think that really, really helps me today. And I think today at cusp of our growth journey or a grand growth journey is what I can say. Today, I think this is something that really helps me to work with my team, my colleagues in the finance team also, to say, okay, this is where we can go and this is how the world has been built.
Right. And tell me, and I'm very, very interested to know, the core principle that you have learned in the real estate that helps you to understand the complexities of real estate.
I think multiple journeys, multiple learnings, but I think the one that has always been with me is that customer is giving your lifetime earnings to you. I mean, when they're buying a house with you. And I think, as they say in one of the sayings I've read is that a brand is nothing but a promise.
Right.
But a good promise is what a true brand means. And I think today, when a customer puts in everything, the lifetime savings with us, what makes us going is to ensure that he gets the commitment that we had given, the brand commitment at the time of signing up. And I think that stayed with me and because you're promising something 5 years down the line, 4 years down the line. And that promise that you've kept with him at that point of time has to be ensure that he gets every dot of it. So that's something which is very more important for us. And even in Puravankara, if I say every single day, every single employee of ours in this company is told everything that please ensure that the promise that you make with that customer is fully completed. You don't miss on even a single dot on that.
Right. And before I come to the brand journey, I want to understand, and there's a saying, right? To build a brand, it requires a village. So what kind of employees or team you think would be great for any real estate company to get in the level where Puravankara legacy is?
Our legacy is, Kritika, we've been there in the business. It's a golden jubilee year. We've been there in the business for 50 years, completed 86 projects. More than 2 lakh happy families. And I think if you talk about my team, we are known as a company which is full of transparency and trust. That is what we live for every single day. In fact, right from the day when somebody joins, across the levels, one thing that has been told to us is, as I just repeated, is that please ensure that you have transparent with your stakeholders. And stakeholders does not mean only our customers. It's with the landlords, it's with our financial partners, with the employees, and ensure that whatever we are committing on day 0 with them, we imbibe that till the entire life cycle of that. And that I think has really helped us. We are present in 9 cities across the country. We are probably the ones who have the maximum coverage in the country right now. And we have a track record of ensuring that every single project, Kritika, in the last 50 years, we've completed that. And every single employee of this company is so proud of that, what we've achieved. And obviously, thanks to Mr. Ravi Puravankara and Mr. Ashish Puravankara, I think this is imbibed in us saying that, Rajat, if you are taking over this project, please ensure you deliver what you're committed.
True.
So that really helps us keep going.
So as you mentioned earlier that, Puravankara is completing 50 years this year, and it was established, I think, in 1975. Puravankara itself has been a legacy when it comes to Indian real estate, right? So over the years, how would you describe the brand journey, and what kind of vision the brand is having, and what are the milestones that brand is building from 2025 and later on as well? Yeah.
So I think, as you rightly said, that we have a 50-year legacy that we are imbibing, and I think that's something that we are very proud of. Our vision is to build a sustainable world for people to live in, and our philosophy is all built around you. The you philosophy is what we proudly talk about. And when we talk about the you philosophy, it, as I said, that it talks about all our stakeholders. It talks about our customers. It talks about our landlords, our JV partners, our employees, every single person who's a part of the Puravankara overall family. I think that's what our you thought is, wherein everything that we do is for taking care of their side of the story. And what we want to do is we want to continue with this legacy that we have built in the last 50 years. Today, I think as a West region, I think we have taken very, very bold steps, very strong steps in the last 1 year. We've been able to get a lot of market redevelopments. As you all know, I think your listeners would be knowing that real estate redevelopment is not an easy business to be in. I think it takes a lot of effort to get a redevelopment asset, and especially the marquee ones that we were able to get. Be it the Andheri Lokhandwala, which is one of the largest redevelopment that we are doing, to Bandra Pali Hill, which is around 2.75 acres of redevelopment that we are doing in heart of Pali Hill, to Miami in Breach Candy, which is probably one of the most iconic locations that you have in Mumbai, and to many more that we have in the pipeline. Every single redevelopment asset that we have taken with a lot of care, a lot of effort to continue with the brand legacy that we have, to ensure that these iconic structures that we're going to build in Mumbai, they're going to stand as a Puravankara legacy invest for a very long time. We're also doing very large set of business in Pune right now. We already have around 4 ongoing projects, and we already handed over around 650 apartments last year, which is on a beach theme projects. And we are ensuring that even in Pune, for the price that we sell in Pune, which is obviously a premium to the market, but our products are clear market differentiator, and customers are loving it as we speak. By the way, Kritika, I also would would love to share with you that we were probably one of the first developers who got theme-based development in the country. Way back in 1994, when we were all talking about concrete structures coming in Bombay and Bangalore and all these cities, we came with a Purva Park concept, the first theme-based concept in 1994. A lot of people didn't even realize that what real estate was all about at that point of time. And since then, we've done so many iconic theme-based developments in Bangalore, be it Purva Venezia, Purva Palm Beach. Venezia is on a Venetian theme, and the Palm Beach, as the name said, is a palm. So we understand how theme-based, development happens, and we're probably one of the pioneers in that. So I think we'll bring lot of that flavor in Mumbai when we develop. A lot of top-class design, top-class quality is going to come our way.
Right. So too much of information you have given, so I'll break it down one by one. So first project, as you mentioned, Miami Apartments in Breach Candy, that has given the brand entry into the South Mumbai, right, where it's uber luxury market. So I want to understand what were the key considerations to get into this particular project?
So if you look at, so both the consideration was slightly different, to be honest. Bandra, we got a lot of opportunities in Bandra, to be honest, not only in Pali Hill, but other parts of Bandra. But when we saw this opportunity in redevelopment in Deccan Society, it was clearly the scale of that operation. 2.75 acres in Pali Hill, in the heart of Pali Hill, something which is unheard of. What you see right now is primarily standalone buildings from a lot of other competition developers. But when we saw the layout, we said we can do a really, really good job out here. We can do a world-class development where people will have everything on the Mother Earth, whether it's going to be a swimming pool or a tennis court or whatever is going to come in that development. And that is what fascinated us. And we said it really meets the brand guidelines. Similarly, when we got Miami on board, thanks to the members in both the societies who chose us for this development, we said, okay, this is right next to the coastal road, but the unprecedented views of the Arabian Sea. And I think we will do a great job in building iconic structure, which is right visible from every part of the coastal road when you're crossing it. The locations are really, really key for us when we decide in the project. Of course, we want to say that it's going to be a Puravankara style of development that we're going to do, but location was really, really critical for us.
Okay. So redevelopment is a very difficult job, right? And especially in a market like Mumbai, because you are bidding and so many other competitors are bidding. So what are the key differentiators that makes you apart from your competition, especially in Mumbai market, that it is gonna stand apart for a redevelopment project?
Couple of things. One, of course, as you rightly said, and thanks to all the Mumbai people, we are one of the largest redevelopment players in Mumbai now, doing multiple, and many more in the pipeline, to say the least. But what I think kept us apart, and I'm very honestly saying that, is when we went to the members, when we showcased what Puravankara is all about, it was a governance and a transparency which really, really showed us apart. I think we told them we are from Puravankara, this is what we can get on the table, we're absolutely full of ethics, we're going to comply with everything, and this is where we can add value. And I think we never expected the fact that members are looking for these kind of developers, Okay. So we went back with that mindset, and luckily, whichever project we have done, we almost got 100% votes from the society, right? And clearly everyone wants that governance and the transparency when you do the deal. So I think that was, of course, needless to say that our quality of work that we've done in a lot of projects in Bangalore and in South, our quality of work that we're doing in Mumbai, in fact, in projects like Chembur that we are doing, that also has really, really helped us because people have come and seen the kind of work that we do. But yes, our governance, our ethics, our brand, our promoter's name has really, really helped us.
No, and I agree, transparency matters in redevelopment projects because we have heard so many stories, so many projects not happening the way it was communicated to the society, being stalled as well, right? So I want to understand, in today's market, especially be Bombay or metro cities, the customer is not just buying home. They are not just looking for home. They are looking for experiences, right? The way of home buying preferences which have changed now, where people or developer could think, घर से ही मतलब है, but there is now a different experience a home buyer is expecting out of a developer. So how Puravankara is evolving when it comes to customer preferences and aligning to their preferences?
So interesting, I think, Kritika. I think that's one of the key points which I probably missed out, and why I think a lot of societies, especially in the real estate, loving us. So I'll break it into two. One is, of course, the normal standalone land buys that we're doing, which obviously we are doing big time. We are not only a redevelopment player, but also we have bought a lot of lands, like in Thane and other parts of Mumbai that we are doing. In Pune, of course, we have a lot of these lands. But in redevelopment, what we do is we spend a lot of time along with the members, with our architects.
Right.
And everything that our members want, we try to get them on the table with in front of our architect and say, can we solve this problem? In fact, it needs a lot of perseverance, because a lot of times the designs will move in and out, and I think, and that's where I think the architects need to be patient and our teams are patient, but we handhold with the members.
Right.
Until the time we both agree on the final design, we do not send it for final layout approvals, etc., etc. So that journey we have lived, I mean, that journey we go through. We ensure that our members are as key part of our development, like we are going to be invested in. So that brings a lot of difference on the table. Coming to the point on our own land buys, what we have done, we obviously do a very, very thorough market check. What's happening in the market? What is the right product in the market? Just for an example, the latest launch that we are going to do soon in Thane, that's probably one of the largest layouts again in Thane that we bought. And we've tried to incorporate a lot of Puravankara standards, that we are known for, into those assets. Like, for example, we have a patented BlueNXT technology. I mean, this technology helps you to have home automation, clean water, oxygenated homes, etc., etc. We've tried to bring that. Every apartment comes with a balcony. We feel that balcony in today's world, with the views that are going to be offered, are very, very critical. Even the smallest of things, Kritika, that we look at the grouting and all that we do at a top-class Puravankara standard. So a lot of these things are really differentiating us from rest of the market. I mean, I think really helping us to get a premium also on our products.
So list me 5 things which come under top-class Puravankara checklist.
I think the checklist, of course, as I said, that
it must be extensive, I'm sure. But when it comes to home buyers, what's the list about?
So the list is, as I said, that rather than putting 5 points, I say that every single element of that house, okay, be it the way we put our windows, be it with the way the doors, be it the smallest of, as I said, the grouting that we do on the flooring, the way that we are putting our tiling stuff, and not only that, but also the common layouts, our common areas. I mean, the way we develop, we spend so much time with international architects on our common, like in Thane. We've got an international architect just to do our landscape. And we spend a lot of time with them to understand how can we be a differentiator than what probably Thane has offered so far. Sure. So there's so many things that every project has. In Chembur, we are designing our project called Puravankara, Andy Fisher. He's the one who's designed the entire clubhouse for us. We wanted to bring something different in Chembur. So every market that we enter, we have a strategy in place. And we try to be a differentiator in that market. It could be multiple things and etc. etc. One thing also, Kritika, I would like to highlight is that every project of Puravankara, be it a 10,000 square feet project or on a rate level or to a 1 lakh square feet project we at the time of launch itself have a specification gallery. And in that gallery, every nut and bolt which is put in the house is showcased over there from day zero, so that the customer from day zero is aware that when the flat is ready, what he's going to get inside the flat.
That's nice.
And that's the transparency level that we work with.
So tell me, it's a highly debatable topic when it comes to amenities, right? In Mumbai market, you have seen there are so many developers giving you 2 towers, 1 tower by saying 100 amenities. What is your stand when it comes to amenities? How do you align your amenities with the customer preference? And does it differ from project to project, or is it very important to give so many amenities to a customer?
I think, yeah, you're right. I think there's been a kind of a competition going on the number of amenities which are happening in the market. But no, we don't want to quantify and trying to say that we're going to raise a Guinness Book record by the number of amenities that we want to provide. What we believe in the fact is that whichever amenity that you're providing in your township or your layout has to be really, really well planned. There's no point in adding the number of quantity, but a quality of things. So when we are doing our developments today, we are saying, okay, this is the amenity that we are providing. These are the set of consumers who are going to be using it. Is it good enough for them? Is it sustainable in nature? Number one. Number two, especially in the redevelopment projects, we want to build sustainable luxury. What does it mean? It means that whichever amenity that you are giving, it should be maintainable by the society. Tomorrow, once you hand over the building to the society, in a lot of buildings I've seen, and the one probably that you are also talking about, 120 amenities, 150, most of the amenities shut down after a period of time because nobody is ready to pay maintenance or there's no one to take care of them. In our case, what we're trying to say is that we're going to build them, but they're going to be maintainable by the societies. It should not put so much pressure on the members that after that they become suffocating, saying that I need to leave this society and stay somewhere else because the maintenance is so high. And lot of time and effort has gone from our architects in developing it, in designing it, in maintaining, and everyone in the company gets involved. It could be a sales team, it could be a planning team, it could be a design team. And right for the matter, in fact, our MD also gets involved saying, okay, this is what we need to offer to our customers. So just to answer it, we don't go on the quantity, we go on the quality. We are a quality company.
And project-wise, it's different from
every project is different. We don't have anything which is, of course, the basic amenities like a gym or a swimming pool or something that we try to give a spa or sauna, we try and give every building. But yeah, the number of amenities obviously depends upon the layout size and etc.
True.
Yeah.
So tell me on the commercial front, right? Where exactly Puravankara is visioning the commercial space, and what kind of projects are we looking into?
So I mean, commercial is something that is right from our heart. I am very, very passionate about this commercial business, to be honest. We're doing some fab job in Bangalore. Right now, we have got 2 projects going on in Bangalore. We are just starting a 3rd one in Bangalore. So by the year 28, we are looking at an annual rental of around 300 odd crores coming from a commercial business alone. We are doing some all grade A platinum rated assets. This year, we are handing over close to around 1.2 million square feet of commercial in one of the projects, another 8 lakhs. So almost 2 million is what we are handing over this year. Next year, we are looking at another handover of close to around 8 lakh odd square feet. So our commercial business is in right shape right now. We're very, very focused right now on a commercial business. But the strategy is very clear. We want to be a boutique commercial player in the right places, in the right locations. So Bangalore is a strategic market for us. We're there in 2 assets. As I said, that we're just starting a 3rd asset in Bangalore. We would like to grow in Pune very soon. We like to grow in Mumbai very soon. But we will take only on those areas where we feel that the annual rental and the locations are in the best top quality. So yeah, I think we are looking at a total enterprise value of close to 6,000 crores on a commercial business by 2027-28.
Great. And down the line, there is possibility of expansion to Mumbai, Pune.
Of course. Any good location, be it Gurgaon, be it Pune, Mumbai, we're definitely looking for expansion.
So we are seeing a lot of branded developers, right, are from their own headquarters city are shifting to different cities with the residential plans or with the commercial plans. So when it comes to Puravankara as a brand, are you guys also looking into this kind of expansion of your residential sector to different cities where you're not present in?
So Kritika, I mean, we are already present in 9 cities right now. We'll be very soon entering NCR, which is going to be the 10th city. So we are already a very well expanded company. We are, as I said, down south, we are practically there in all the major cities in South India. Mumbai, Pune, Goa is where we are. We are entering NCR very soon. So we are a very, very well diversified in terms of the location perspective. We are very happy where we are. Of course, the top 4 cities continue to be the metros where we operate in Bangalore, or for that matter, Pune, Mumbai and Chennai. But of course, we feel that NCR can play a critical role in a future growth of operations, and that's where we will focus in the near future. But we are very happy where we are right now. We don't want to expand further right now.
Right. So tell me, when it comes to these cities, right, where you're expanding and where you are present, there are different segments where Puravankara is, right, where they are getting to luxury, where they were in mid-segment housing. Where would you describe each vertical of Puravankara present? Because there's a provident housing, right? Yes. So that even the customer understand the differentiation. What is the differentiation between both the verticals?
So today, I think we work under 3 brands. We have Purva Land, which is in plotted development. And we are very soon launching a plotted development in the West region as well. We have Provident, which is kind of a aspirational to affordable housing segment, which is obviously doing excellent. Malana is heading it and he's doing a great job down south. They're doing in almost all the cities here. And then we have our flagship brand, which is Puravankara Purva, which is nothing but taking care of the luxury and the semi-luxury kind of products that are there. So wherever we see an opportunity, Kritika, we are not fixated by which brand has to go. Wherever we see an opportunity, which any of these brands coming up playing a pivotal role, we'll introduce those brands to that market. And luckily, what has happened is, like in West, we have Provident as well. We have Puravankara as well. We, as I said, we will be launching a plotted development as well. Every market where we've entered, all these brands have been taken and respected by the customers very, very well, and then channel partners very, very well. So they've been very well appreciated and recognized in all the markets. So that's what, it's not a problem for us which brand to go where, but all these markets, wherever the opportunity will be there.
And recently we are seeing a hike in pilgrim cities, right? Now it's become a code like pilgrim investment real estate, where people are taking plotted developments. The bigger player, the Lodha, is already present. So when it comes to such cities where the pilgrim is there, where you see in coming months or years, BJP is going to make a great investment infrastructure development, are you going to target such cities as well?
As I said, if we see an opportunity, why not? We never say no to any opportunity. If we see an opportunity to any of the pilgrim center or any non-pilgrimage center, we will lap it and we will try and expand there. But obviously, we'll wait for the right opportunity. And then obviously, whenever we enter a city, we like to do well in that city. Right. And so, be it, as you said, that be it any city for that matter, if we see a great opportunity and we know that we can sustain in the city for a long time, we would love to enter that city.
So in the recent Union Budget 2025, we have seen tax cuts, which is a good advantage for middle class, where the disposable income will increase. So when it comes to that, what is your perspective, how it's going to influence the residential real estate market in India?
So, Kritika, I think the Union Budget was quite progressive this year, to be honest. I think after a lot of budgets that we've seen, this is one budget that I would say is in the right direction in terms of at least facilitating the real estate side of things. And be it the tax cuts, be it handing over $1 lakh plus to the end user, to the fact that we have an urban challenge fund, which is almost $1 lakh crore for giving to the development of the cities and etc., to a 1,50,000 crore allocation to the states for improving the infrastructure in the states. I think we are absolutely right in the right direction. It's going to be a while we reach the goal, but that's where the money has come. Having said that, I think this will really, as you said, that the 1.5 lakh rupees, whatever is going in the hands of the customers, will help in at least the affordable housing segment. If I don't know how much is going to impact the aspirational or the luxury segment, but definitely I think it will help the affordable housing segment, which for I think is at least almost 3-4 years is not doing so well. And this additional 5,000-7,000 rupees a month will help in the EMIs, etc. So I think it's in the right direction is all I'll say right now.
So there have been different kind of reports coming in which says luxury homes are in demand, prices have increased, but it is every home buyer's demand. But there are different reports. So one report is by CBRE in January only. They came up by saying, quoting especially for Bangalore market, that 81% of the sales of luxury market declined. And those were the ticket size price above 4 crore onward. So where are these demands coming from? And which particular cities are seeing these rise in luxury homes?
So I think the top of the line in the luxury demand has always been Mumbai. It continues to be the top of the stable. I think NCR is doing phenomenally well. I was seeing some data, as you rightly said, in terms of the luxury demand, and I think the segments of 5 to 10 crores and 20 to 50 crore segment, which are the called luxury, uber luxury segments, are doing phenomenally well in Mumbai. In fact, if you look at the MMR data that I just saw in some of the report, is that the 20 to 50 crore segment has grown from around 75 odd units to 192 odd units last year. That's almost a 143-150% growth. And I think recently I also read about some news in where one of the big launches in Delhi where people have been buying 100 crores plus apartments, and that's also done very well. I think the Bangalore story can be taken with a pinch of salt. It could be a reason of less of supply. But frankly speaking, the backbone of real estate growth this year, in fact, the last 2 years, I would say, has been the luxury segment, and it's really doing very well. And Mumbai, I think primarily because of the fact of the redevelopment that is happening. Right. So because we didn't have land, this segment was not doing well. Now because of redevelopment happening, there's so much of supply which is coming in. People are able to buy homes in the location that they always wanted to be in. So I think this segment will continue to do well. I don't see a significant price increase happening in the near future, but I think this market is going to be stable and there'll be a stable demand which is continues to be happening in this.
But according to you, what are the factors which are demanding this kind of homes? Because there must be a certain target audience, right? According to you, what are these factors that is giving the rise to luxury homes?
See, the biggest factor obviously is the disposable income. I think the stock market is doing very, very well in the last 2-3 years. That has really helped. I think urbanization is a big key factor. I think that's the reason why a lot of development is now people wanting to move to locations where they've always eyed to be in. And the infrastructure, I think Mumbai is a classical example, be it the coastal road development or the metro connectivity happening or the various other infra things that are happening in Mumbai, Atal Setu for that matter. I think all these things are putting people in the saying that, okay, they put in the money in the location they wanted to be. They want to be closer to their offices. For example, somebody was working in BKC and now they want to be in Bandra because it's just, it's just a hop away for offices, etc., etc. But I think a lot of these factors are now putting together. The income levels increasing, the infrastructure development happening, the location where they wanted to be, availability of supply happening over there. So all of these are shaping up together and which is pushing the demand for the luxury segment.
Right. So we are seeing different land plotted development brands getting into micro markets of different cities in India, right? So I want to understand when it comes to these cities, the micro market where the land is still there, pretty much available. So there have been different investment tools which have come in, be fractional ownership, right? It has gained huge traction post-COVID. So according to you, what are the trends we are going to see when it comes to plotted development? And what kind of investment tools are going to enhance after this? Be plotted developments, and even to my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, in residential also now fractional ownership has entered, right?
Yes. I'm
seeing a lot of brands who I've spoken to that they are taking projects from the developer and giving it for the fractional ownership for certain units and everything. So is this going to be the future?
So just to answer your question on the plotted development, where I think is so typically plotted development works where on two reasons. One is the end user, which is people wanting to build their own homes, which is very traditional in the south part of India where people are buying plotted development for the end consumption itself. Two likes of MMR where people are buying in locations like Khalapur or Karchad where people are looking at investment opportunity, or in Panvel where they see the next phase 3 of Mumbai growing in, which is 3.0 of Mumbai coming in, which is a clearly investment opportunity that people are seeing. So different reasons, but people are buying plotted development. That's a fact of life. And people are looking at, as you rightly said, that be it pilgrimage, wherever they can own a piece of land, people are investing it. But if you ask me, the whole logic is about capital appreciation, what they want to see in the plotted land. So I would urge all the buyers to be very, very careful when they're buying plotted development. One is obviously the legal part of it, because it comes with its own set of risk when they're buying plotted development. The second is, of course, the opportunity that is seen in the capital appreciation of that. And that can only happen if the infrastructure is coming on that. A lot of these plotted development, in my experience, have died down because there was no infrastructure which had led to that. And people have taken those so-called, opportunistic calls at that point of time and didn't work out. So these are the things that people need to be mindful of. But coming to the second part of the question that you said is the fractional ownership in residential. I think in the Western markets, a lot of such companies are prevalent and they're doing pretty well also about it. I've read about a few of them and they're doing well. Having said that, India, I think it's slightly at a nascent stage. Right. It is probably going to take some time for these kind of structures to happen. While in the commercial front, they're doing very well now. A lot of these companies are settled. But residential side, the problem is the rental yields are still at the range of 2.5-3%. So until there's a capital appreciation happening, it doesn't give a great opportunity for people to invest in. So I think it's still 3-4 years away till the time you see that really big numbers coming from this segment.
Right. And talking about rental yields, amazing rental yields are coming from office spaces, right? But we are also seeing a certain trend, which you can tell me if this is going to go for long, that major lease is happening? Leasing is happening over ownership, right? So are we going to see this more in the future when it comes to commercial office space?
See, the office space is the all-time boom happening right now. Much has come in paper in press. So I think there was an article in Times of India, in fact, yesterday, the GCCs, I think, which is now becoming a backbone of commercial growth in India. I think they are exploding in India, I think, and lot of large global GCC players are there in cities like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, now Pune, and I think that is which is creating a lot of demand right now.
Yes.
And as per all the reports that are suggesting, I think there is enough in demand which is going to come in the next 7-8 years more. I think by 2030, whatever demand that we are looking at, I think there's going to be a very strong demand coming in the commercial segment. So just to answer your point, I think leasing will continue, the momentum in leasing continue. This year there's been the highest leasing record already. I think the next year will be even better. And of course, the important thing is the supply is also coming in the right direction. So if you see, a lot of grade A supply is now developing, which was not there. There was no supply only of grade A. There was availability of commercial spaces, but not grade A, not platinum rated. So that supply is also coming, which will attract a lot of these global companies to come in India and attract that. Of course, needless to say that India is a talent hub. So cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune offer a great talent hub for all these GCCs to set up their shops in India. So it's helping in all. It's an overall structure which is helping us.
So as you mentioned, I want to understand there's been evolving demand, as you said, of grade A offices as well the mixed-use development, right? In the coming years, when it comes to mixed-use development, where do you see the trend is going to go?
So the mixed-use development, obviously, I think for a mixed-use development, the first and foremost important thing is you need to have a great land parcel, a large land parcel. We can offer this kind of thing. So in Bangalore, for that matter, we are doing a very large mixed-use development wherein we have a grade A commercial complex followed by a residential building, and we're also making a nice, F&B and retail out there, small bit of retail out there. So I mean, it's all about the fact that how big your land opportunity is. Luckily, these locations have to be close to infrastructure hubs. So we are just close to the airport. We are close to where the metro is traveling, and that is where it becomes a great place to have this mixed-use development.
Right.
Ultimately, you want your people either who are working or living in the campuses that you talk about to be accessible to the entire infrastructure. Commuting has to be easy. And for that matter, for me, I think that is where I think this year's budget is really, really helpful, because the government has put in so much money in the hands of the states, etc., wherein these infrastructures can be developed around these land parcels. The Mumbai 3.0 that we are talking about, where the government is now putting a lot of effort to build that, I think if the infrastructure comes in properly over there, that can be a great place to build a lot of mixed-use development.
True.
Especially with Atal Setu coming in and which connecting into Mumbai and especially to South Bombay and other parts of Mumbai. If the infrastructure is developed well over there, I think that I think we can do a really good job over there.
Right.
So this is where I see the infrastructure playing a key role.
I agree. And tell me, when it comes to sustainability, because it's now no more of the buzzword, right? No one is trying to do marketing about it by saying we are sustainable brands, take a certification, all of that in one place. How Puravankara as a brand, when it comes to sustainability, is integrating into their projects of residential and commercial spaces?
So, Kritika, we're very proud about what we're doing on sustainability front. In fact, we are probably the only developer I can think of is who's doing the residential buildings also IGBC gold rated buildings. All our residential buildings are IGBC gold, which means that sustainability is at the heart of what we do. And every small element of sustainability, forget about the fact that we are making platinum rated buildings, etc., investing money in a commercial development. But as you say that every time we spend a lot of effort in ensuring that how we can make a certain building more sustainable. And that is where I'm just taking a step back when I was telling you about the redevelopment assets that we are building in Mumbai. Everywhere we've gone with the presentation, we have told them the smaller things we're trying to build in the asset to make it more sustainable, to make it less maintenance for the members. So be it rainwater harvesting, which of course these are very normal things, be it the solar panels that we are putting in, be it the kind of the windows that we are putting in, to a lot of other things that we are trying to pull in the clubhouse, etc., which can be easily sustainable and no maintenance. So for us, this has been a part of our DNA for a very long time. While the buzzword is there and people will start talking about it, we've been doing it for a very long time now.
So tell me, I want to know your perspective. There have been recent lot of debates going. You must have heard Nitin Kamath has made a comment that, where he has suggested to link property prices with the AQI of that particular city. Meaning that if the AQI is low of that particular city, or high especially, the property prices should be very low so that people can be able to buy the houses rather than having expensive houses and the air pollution is high. Do you think in future, because there have been so many billionaires talking like this, in future the property prices valuation can actually be derived out of the AQI?
I think when that happens, I think Bombay and Delhi will be the cheapest markets in the country, which I think none of us want. But I think where I can pick up what has come from that statement is the fact that they are looking forward to cities with low levels of AQI. Of course, everyone wants lesser pollution for the families and for the kids. And I think a lot of effort has been ensured by the government from the municipal corporations to ensure there's less of pollution. A lot of efforts that we take at our front to ensure that our entire development that we are doing is the least amount of pollution that we can create on that, be it noise pollution or any kind of pollution for that matter. But yes, I mean, these are the efforts that we will continue to build, and a lot of technology is now coming in place. Like for example, in Bandra, we put in the sound barriers just to avoid creating disturbance for the neighbors when we're doing construction. But I think AQA level pricing, I think that is a very, very long way to go. I don't see any time in future coming in.
And there's been, yesterday only this came in news because I'm a big time user of Reddit. So I suppose you must have read in one newspaper. There's a Reddit debate which is going on that NRI has been investing a lot when it comes to your land, when it comes to houses and all of that, which gives less inventory to the present customer. And there's a debate that the kind of prices then increases because the target audience is NRI. So the one which is there in the current market, I would say age group, just say Reddit पे जिसमें debate हो रहा था, the age group was 25 to 38. They were debating about this particular factor. So do you think this is true that because of the high investment by NRIs, the property prices are of course increasing, and the people who are there in this particular country or cities, they are not able to get hold of these inventories?
No, I would kind of disagree. I think NRIs have been a key component of sales. At least 10 to 11, 12% kind of sales have always been coming from the NRI segment, be it from Gulf or be it from the US markets or maybe the European markets. They've been a key contributor to India's growth, I think, not only in real estate, but across all the segments. But having said that, as far as I understand real estate from a very, very long time, NRIs have always participated in India's real estate growth. And I think there's enough and more supply for people to look at the right opportunities. I don't see a reason why a 10 to 12% market share by NRIs will undermine somebody to buy the apartment of their choice. Of course, I mean, the good thing with NRIs is they get a lot of flavor into the society when they come in. But having said that, I think most of these NRIs who are investing in India, ultimately they don't come back to India. A lot of them are going to come back to India and live in those apartments. So it's not that they are trying to jack the price. They're obviously hard negotiators out there, and they will continue to provide money and support the Indian real estate system. So I think that's a win-win for all of us.
But cities like Mumbai, right, where the land parcels is hardly there, would you say that we might face housing crisis like how we have seen in UK, right? Because major investors were from Dubai and NRI who had major hold of the inventories, and there were less inventories there present for the current residents. So do you think this will be the case when it comes to these kind of cities? I'm talking of Mumbai per se.
You're talking about the less of supply for the local domestic.
Yeah.
No, I don't see that challenge. I think there's enough and more supply. I think, as I said, that had it been a situation where it is a landlocked city where there's no land for us to develop, etc., etc. But today with the redevelopment coming in, I think redevelopment is going to reshape Mumbai skyline forever for a very, very long time. And I think there is so much of inventory which is being built, which is going to sustain Mumbai's growth for real estate for next 30-40 years. I think there's enough and more inventory for people to get. So as I said, that it's not that we're talking about a 25, 30%, 40% market share of NRIs. We're talking about 10 to 12%, right? And that is a segment which is contributing not from now for a very, very long time, right? So I don't see that it'll any which ways let a prospective local guy to ultimately buy, because we are talking about all projects with large, like for example Puravankara, for example, any project that we are developing is a very large scale project that we develop, and that will have enough opportunity for locals to buy and except for including the NIS to buy.
But you know the definition of affordable housing in Mumbai, right? It's like starting from 2 to 3 crore.
Yes.
So which is a bit crazy for a person who's going to be at the age of 25, 30 to purchase that kind of inventory, right?
But you know, Kritika, you'll be surprised that with the income levels increasing, and of course the access of loan is so high, and now especially with the interest rates going down, I mean, this segment is the most potent segment to buy a 2 crore apartment. And I'm frankly saying, from the experience that we have today, the average age of people who are buying homes with us is in a range of 33 to 35 years, right? They are the ones who are obviously the husband and wife working, and they both the salaries are adding up, and they easily can afford a 2 to 5 crore kind of a product that is buying. And of course the urbanization is really helping. People are coming from all across, especially in cities like Mumbai and Bangalore. We're coming all across the country and settling down in cities like Bombay, Pune and Bangalore, where they're all pooling their income and buying apartments out here. So this is the segment we'll continue to buy, and I don't see any stress in that segment. They're all doing well in their jobs. They're earning. There's a good, I think, salary increment that's happening in the industry and in the domestic market also right now. So in fact, To be honest, Kritika, I just want to give you some stats. Currently, the overall real estate market is around $300 billion, which is approximately 7.5% of GDP, right? And it is pegged that it's going to be almost $1 trillion by 2030. So that is the kind of growth that we are anticipating for the real estate business to be in. It's a huge, huge market potential out there.
So lastly, I want to ask you, according to you, what are the top 5 emerging hotspots when it comes to investment in residential real estate? Which are those cities according to you?
Cities-wise, I think Mumbai continues to be the top. I think it's still a 35 to 40% market in India. It will continue to be there. It's followed by Bangalore, very, very great, good market. Pune is doing very, very well as a market. Pune, I think NCR is a decent market. I think there's a lot of demand happening in decent. And I would fifth, I would rate it as Hyderabad. As a market is also doing very well. So these are the 5 markets I will put my money in.
And according to you, 5 micro markets which you are seeing
in Mumbai?
Not in Mumbai, it can be overall in India. Which are the 5 micro markets which you feel are emerging now?
Difficult to tell you about because every market has a different, but if I have to tell you, just to say in Bangalore, the North Bangalore market is doing very, very well.
Right.
In Mumbai, the Thane belt continues to be a hot favorite for people to buy in. The western suburb has been doing well. The South Bombay market, when I say South Bombay, for me, it's a 45,000 square feet rupees market to a 1 lakh and above market. I think that market is doing tremendously well right now. People are seeing some great opportunities to buy in that market. And last but not the least, I think the South Central market in Mumbai, which is the Dadar and Wadala, a lot of great assets coming in that market also, which are very much affordable in nature. And because South Central, the connectivity on both the sides now improving, I think that also is a very good market to be in.
To finish this particular segment, I want to ask you what you think about tier 2, tier 3 cities now when we have entered in 2025. How are they going to be in terms of residents? Because I've seen a lot of developers also getting into these markets, be plotted development or be getting into commercial space. So according to you, where would we see the surge happening in tier 2 and tier 3, and what kind of surge are we seeing into commercial, residential or plotted?
I think that's a very good question. I think I'm very bullish about the tier 2 market, especially. I don't want to comment on the tier 3 markets right now, but I think the tier 2 market itself is a great opportunity. They're the future growth engines. And cities like Jaipur, Indore, Lucknow for that matter, I think these cities are providing great opportunities for developers to be in. I think the sustained income levels have gone, the political arenas look very stable out there in these markets. So if you have to ask me, I think 3 years, 4 years down the line, these are going to be the future growth engines. And we also evaluating a lot of opportunities in this market as and when they come. Of course, our hands are full right now in the core city that we operate in. But if you look at the overall dynamics, I think they look very positive right now. And we would like to enter these markets either as a Purva land or any of our products over there at the right time.
So I want to ask you, I've been honestly been a Bandra girl for long. Then I shifted to Thane in 2019. And from that moment till now, I'm seeing Thane developed in amazing way, be infrastructure wise, be it the kind of brands coming in. And you mentioned that Puravankara is coming into Thane. I want to understand more about this particular project. What exactly this project is? Is it a township or is it a luxury home? So that our viewers understand that why did you choose Thane? Because I know why I chose Thane, but why Puravankara is getting into Thane and what kind of project are you getting into?
So the Thane land that we bought last year, I think is one of the, probably we feel that is the best land parcel was available in Thane. And it's a 13-acre land parcel that we bought just at the joining of of the Hirandani estate, where the Hirandani estate starts at that location. And I think what brings us different in this part of the land, that is that it has views on both the sides. On one side, you have the pristine views of Sanjay Gandhi National Park, absolutely uninterrupted. On the back side, you have the Botanical Park, and then obviously you have the creek views. So any resident who's going to be owning an apartment in this township will have views either of the Sanjay Gandhi National Park for lifetime or for Botanical Park or the creek. And that makes it very different in a market like Thane, which is so cemented right now. I mean, there's so much of buildings happening, and you have this location right on Gorbanda Road, Bangalore Gorbanda Road, right, which is having serene views, unprecedented views. So when I went to this land for the first time, I said, this is where Puravankara has to be. This is what we stand for. This is the kind of quality product that we can create. And then we spent almost 6-7 months in designing this product. Every apartment over here in this township, we have curated to the fact that it should have the best views, the cleanest of air, as you rightly they asked in the questions. Not only that, we've got a significant amount of retail also happening because we are right on the Gorbanda Road. There is a beautiful retail that we are creating out here, which means that there'll be all top-notch brands which will be part of that retail, and which something that Thane has not seen on Gorbanda Road. So much of offering with approximately around 1.5 lakh square feet of the podium level amenities. We've tried to bring different that Thane has not seen for a long time, and we're very proud. It should be available. This product will be launched very soon. Now we're in the final stages. But a lot of hard work. Actually, if you can just put in line, we have just handcrafted this entire the design from the scratch, and I think Thane people are already giving us very, very encouraging views about it. Whatever we know from the market, lot of inquiries have already started happening as we speak, and we are hoping that this will be a blockbuster launch.
It will be, because the location you have mentioned is a prime location,
Yes,
right? So having this project in this prime location, are we looking into a luxury apartments?
Yeah, I think we are launching under the Puravankara brand, the Purva brand. So it's going to be a luxury kind of a thing, but affordable luxury is always, we call it, something that Thanekers, I think, will love it, from the price point also and from the quality of product also.
So I'm going to start rapid fire. It's quite famous in our Let's Talk Business podcast, because I don't let you take a minute, more than a minute you are not going to take to think over the question I'm asking you, because we want our viewers to know you personally as well. So my first question is, if not real estate, what career would you have chosen? And you can't say banking. We all know you're from banking.
Well, I would have become an entrepreneur. I think being an entrepreneur is in my blood. My family has been to business for more than 100 years. I think, so I would have been a businessman.
Okay. So one piece of advice you love to give to young professionals who are entering in real estate?
I think I have a very simple mantra in life, which is very plain and simple. It's hard work and perseverance. Nothing else matters. Just keep on doing that hard work every single day. Just having perseverance. And be disciplined in life. When you have to be on time, be on time. You have to do your work, just do your work. Very simple, very straightforward.
True. So what's one quality that every real estate leader must have?
Perseverance, again, I would say. I think real estate is a very dynamic business. I know I'm just taking more than a word, but I think it's a dynamic business. A lot of ups and downs are going to happen. Keep on putting that perseverance. You will get your success.
Agreed. So which project in your career holds a special place for you?
There are many. I would not like to. I think every project, to be honest, it's very, very close to my heart. I think they all just like my kids, right? I personally look into them like my projects. So I would not like to name anyone. But yes, I think all the ones that I'm doing right now, I'm really, really, really fascinated by the offering that we're going to get.
Great. So one myth about real estate you like to debunk?
A very common myth that there's something which is, sometimes people call it cheaters. Sometimes people say we are not following regulatory guidelines. But here in Puravankara, I think one thing that we vouch for, every single thing to the dot is what we follow. So I would request all the buyers who are looking out in the market, just be clear that not everyone is going to cheat you like maybe someone would have done. There are a lot of good players available in the market who are going to do a fab job. And Puravankara definitely is on the top of the line.
I agree. One misconception people have about real estate CEOs?
One misconception about real estate CEOs, I think one is that they are too greedy and they will always look at the P&L. They will only try to make profit. But that's not the case. They are all humans and they want to give you a good house, good home for you to live in and for your family. So I think that's not the case.
Luxury or affordable housing, which segment is more challenging to develop?
Of course, affordable is more challenging to develop.
Okay. So what's more important in real estate, location, pricing, or brand trust?
I think all three, to be honest. I mean, if you have to give me in a rating, I would say, I think number one is the location, which is the most important thing. Second would be the brand trust. And the third would be pricing. People are ready to give a higher price for good brand and location.
True. So if you had to invest in a city outside of Mumbai or Bengaluru, which one would it be and why?
Pune.
And why?
We're doing very well already over there and people are loving what we're doing.
Nice. And what's the most underrated city for real estate investment in India according to you?
Underrated city for real estate investment in India. I think to an extent, I think still I feel that Bangalore has a great potential. I think as a city, it's lost to offer. I think the prices are still much less than what it should be in the Bangalore market. So I would say I think in the near future, I'll see a substantial amount of price increase happening in the Bangalore market.
Okay. If you had to describe Puravankara in 3 words, what would they be?
Ethics, transparency, and trust.
In one sentence, how would you describe the future of Indian real estate?
It's going to be growing by leaps and bounds.
So what's that one book or a movie that has significantly influenced your professional outlook?
I think one movie I really, really admire is the movie which is Pursuit of Happiness. I think it again talks about perseverance and how the father and the son duo managed their life and how he was ultimately successful in the end. So that puts in a lot of, helps me to regain my mental strength and fight for it.
Great. So if you could have dinner with any real estate icon, who would it be and why?
I really admire Mr. Ravi Puravankara. I would love to have many dinners with him.
And why?
Oh, because he comes with so much of knowledge, so much of belief that he gets into me and motivates me. I think every time I spend time with him, I think it's very encouraging for me. So I can have many dinners with him.
So during your real estate journey, I'm sure a lot of people must have advised you. So what was the worst advice that you got, and what was the best advice? Not necessarily you followed the worst advice, but when you look back, it gives you a smile that someone said that to you.
Yeah, when I moved from Deutsche to real estate, a lot of people came back saying, you're spoiling your career. Why would you leave a MNC bank? My wife was also working in an MNC bank, and they said, why would you leave a MNC culture and move to a... In fact, the first few months and in fact, the first few years were also not easy because I was in a totally different domain. But I think what has happened after that is that I understood that this industry is going to take time, and it's been almost now 13 years since I've been there, a part of this industry, and I think I've seen the kind of growth this industry has offered, and the kind of the structure this industry, the discipline this industry has offered. So now I look back and I smile. I think I still feel that I made the right decision at that point of time. But as I said, there is always a very long way to go, and I think this industry will become a dominable industry in the times to come.
And what was the best advice that you got?
Best advice I got was from one of my ex-bosses, who said that, Rajat, if you really want to think like how great people do, be a part of the society, be a part of the group. And I didn't realize that point very early on, and I used to always say, he said, Rajat, you have to be with that group to think like them. And I think that thing changed in my mind, and I said, yes, how do I be in that group? And that is how slowly and steadily I started trying to be in that group, and it really changed the way they were thinking. I mean, they were thinking 3x or 4x of what I was thinking probably at that point of time. At a young age, I think the exponential thought process, it really helped me think that, okay, I can deliver certain things, because if these young people are thinking and the people are mentors who are thinking like this, why can't I think? And it really changed my mind forever. And I keep on telling it to my kids, my friends, that if you get that advice early on in your life, how you have to think, that can really change your career graph.
No, I agree with this. This is very important, especially if you're getting the right people in your career path. It's very important to hold on to that.
It's very important. Yeah. Especially you have good mentors and who have been supportive, and even the half an hour advice that they give to you, if you can try and inculcate that and what they're trying to say, I think there's no reason why you will not be successful in your career. There's no reason why.
So Rajat, this has been a quite insightful conversation. Your vision, your passion for the brand, and even your journey has been quite valuable. I'm sure the viewers have learned more, not just about the brand, about the person who you are. Thank you so much for coming to Let's Talk Business. And I wish you all success, to you and the Puravankara.
Thank you, Kritika. Thank you so much for calling me here. It's been an absolute pleasure talking about myself, my company, my colleagues, and my certain personal thing that you asked upon. But thank you so much. It's been delightful.
Thank you.
Thank you.